This is William K. Martin, Art Witness 1, and today we're going to talk about the accused in witchcraft. Now, I got into this a little bit last night on my Friday live stream, but I figured it'd be wise to touch upon it again. Now, there was a witness to the murder of Chris Hallett, a woman who said that it was Neely Petrie Blanchard that basically executed Chris Hallett because of his inability to get her children back, and she also got the idea that Chris Hallett was actually trying to get the children away from her and never allow her to see her children again. Kind of an ultimate betrayal, and so she shot him and killed him. Now, all the people that are allied to Chris Hallett, including a certain blogger, have come out and said that no, that's not what happened. That the deep state and all these domestic terrorists plotted weeks ago to kill Chris Hallett, and that somehow Neely Blanchard is not guilty of the crime, that someone else may be involved. And in the midst of all this, they have accused Shannon of being a witch, being involved in witchcraft, and possibly being involved with these domestic terrorists. Now, this spells bad news for the woman who is supposedly taking over the E-Clause operation as its main advocate and the spreader of the so-called legal theories that Chris Hallett used to involve himself in, and apparently in advising people of the same shenanigans that got Neely Blanchard in trouble in the first place, as well as Cynthia Absuck. So now the defense is going to have something to look at to try and get his client off, and we have this woman who seems to be ripe for the picking, as they say. So that's going to be an interesting thing to watch. Now, we had a development in the Field McConnell case. They're trying to get him under house arrest in Plum City, Wisconsin. And they have filed paperwork on the 10th of December to that effect. Now, the prevailing theory is that that effort is going to fail and that Field McConnell is going to remain in Florida. It's going to be hard to tell what's going to happen, but at any rate, this is going to make for an interesting few weeks while we wait to see how soon the court decides Field McConnell's fate, and if there is going to be any counter argument by the prosecution to object to this motion. I would think that there is probably going to be an objection by the prosecution, and so we will have something come out sometime next week where they will argue that Field McConnell should not be leaving the state of Florida. And so that'll work its way through the process, and we will see where that goes. In February, the second week of February, we're going to have the trial of Cynthia Absuck. And also on December 22nd, we are going to have a hearing regarding Neely Blanchard and whether or not she's going to get on bail, if bail is set, how much that's going to be, and if Neely Blanchard is going to be able to raise that money. Now, if their bail is set, I would not be surprised if somebody starts up a GoFundMe account or a Patreon or something to try and get her out on bail. So we'll have to watch to see if one of these are organized and who it might be that does the organizing. And it would be also interesting to find out if the money that's raised from this effort is going to work its way into the effort to get Neely Blanchard out of jail, or if it is going to line somebody's pockets, which seems to be where these donations have wound up. Now, another area I'm going to touch up, and probably my final one here, is this business with the arrest warrants that is alleged to have been filed on the 2nd of November by Chris Hallett. This is most certainly not true, and I spent a lot of time tracking this story down. And the first time I did it, the person who wrote about this left out some details that rather conveniently came out after I had published my results, and that was that the arrest warrants are sealed. Now, no mention was made of this in the original article, and so it rather conveniently came up in the second one. But there's a problem. Even if cases are filed with sealed indictments, they will get listed as a sealed case. You know, closed case, sealed case, not public, whatever they call it. And the detractors actually publish lists of these cases. But the cases exist. Now, I went to both the state court system and the federal court system, and neither docket has anything filed on November 2nd, 2020 by E-Clause or by Chris Hallett. Not a single thing. All we've got is this receipt that claims that there was something filed. The only problem is the court can't find a record of the receipt. What they did do is trace back to cases that Chris Hallett filed in 2018. And he lost those cases. So it would seem that someone, for some weird reason, either altered or forged a receipt. Now, it's interesting to note that on the receipt itself, that there has been some redacting done by whoever was in possession of this receipt. And it's rather curious as to why the redaction was made. You know, what is there behind those little black splotches that are being hidden? Could it be the true date that they couldn't alter for some reason, that they had to blot out, or some other information that might have led to the true nature of why that receipt was paid out? But we will never know, because they are not going to disclose that information. And they are not going to post how they came into possession of that receipt. At least they haven't so far. Now, they may be forced to make some kind of comment about the receipt, as I have not let this go. And this is one thing you find when you look at my YouTube channel and look at how I have reported on things like this receipt and what happens afterward. When I reported on this originally, there was no record that these arrest warrants that they were bragging around about had been sealed. Now, all of a sudden, we have sealed arrest warrants by a person that's not even authorized to file arrest warrants. Chris Hallett has no authority to post arrest warrants or to cause arrest warrants to anyone. You know, he's not a defense contractor. He has no connection to Congress. He has no connection to anything. Yet there are people that will come into my YouTube chat and declare that. and they are lying, and they are confessing to online fraud. Whoever this obsessed troll that came into my chat last night did just that. They said that these people are working with Congress, and they are not. And they're getting paid by gullible people donating to their various funding accounts based on this claim, and that is wire fraud. And if enough people complain to the authorities, somebody is going to go to jail. And it's going to be the people that are operating these fund drives. And so that is something to look forward in the new year, is we draw closer to what is probably going to turn out to be one of the most interesting years in internet history. Now, I'm not quite certain if I'm going to be continuing to do the daily mobile-thons. I'm going to try to do these segments and come up with things of substance to talk about, but if I can't, then I may cut back just a little bit and do the mobile-thons not every day, but every once in a while, and then still do my Friday chat. So we'll see how things work out on a day-by-day basis. Now, I am going to try to keep updated on things in the news as far as court cases or any developments out of these conspiracy frauds that are on the internet. So I would appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification button so you can keep track of what's going on as the days, weeks, and months move forward. And I would like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, be safe, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you on the next Mobile-thon or Murder-thon or whatever-thon. And so until then, this is William K. Murtaugh, Mert Witness 1. Have a good one.